Alright, so welcome in. Here we go. We're going to join up in this Gauntlet League and see what happens. And hopefully we get a sweet deck. Oh man. Well, we got there, guys. Blue-Green Madness. Exactly the deck I wanted. This is going to be awesome. Here, let's jump into our first round. A deck I know how to play pretty well, and a deck that I love very dearly. In my history of playing Magic, this is probably in my top 3 favorite decks of all time I've ever played. Definitely my #1 standard deck that I've ever played. So let's join a match and see what we get paired against, which is the next fun thing we get revealed. I lose the die roll, so that's okay. Waiting for my opponent to decide whether or not to mulligan. Or whether or not to play first at this point. Cool. And then we have blue mana, green mana, and a careful study. Hand looks perfect. Let's keep. So we go turn 1. We go island, careful study, discard a root wallet, and a deep analysis, or a root wallet and a wonder. Seems pretty good. It looks like our opponent may be on rebels. Plains probably indicates that. So we're going island, and let's just go for it. Careful study, we'll draw 2. Drew land and deep analysis. Let's discard. And I guess I want to draw some cards sooner, so we'll discard deep analysis. And then we'll yield to the Bastion Wallet's ability, and we'll get a 1/1 on turn 1 for free after having drawn 2 cards, because that is the power of the Mechanic Madness when they actually decide to print cards that utilize it very well. The Shadows over Innistrad Madness cards didn't really impress me outside of Fiery Temper, which is an older card from Torment. But, okay, they're not rebels. Blue-white. Could they become... let me see. No, they're not Battle Blitz at 52 cards. Interesting. Well, I guess we are just going to go ahead and attack for 1. Swing. Just get a damage in. And then we'll go ahead and flashback deep analysis. And we get to draw 2 more cards, which is pretty cool. And lands. Okay, so we're flooding a touch. That's fine. We just get to free roll a discard of a wonder or another deep analysis. Okay, they're on slide. Okay. I forgot slide has blue in it. Sure. So this is a matchup that I played a lot back in the day. It's been so long. Something like 15, 16 years since I've got to play this matchup. My buddy Sean, I'm sure will watch this because he'll be interested to see it. Knows these games very well. The same regionals he played, I played this deck at, he played Astral Slide at. So, alright. Go ahead, cycle your card. Then I think I gotta move to clean up, and I guess we'll just pitch the deep analysis again. Try to draw some more cards. Frozen Verge. End step. Opponent not doing much, and I am super flooded. Jeez. This is deep analysis now. I can afford to pay a little bit of life to try to get some action. Another deep analysis and some lands. Magic Online really despises me lately. I guess we can play a forest. And again, we get the free roll Wonder and Deep Analysis. But we'll go to attacks. I could have attacked for 3 with the Mongrel or with the Rootwalla instead of playing Deep Analysis, but I really would like some action. If I don't draw anything next turn, I'm actually not going to discard this Deep Analysis. I can just hard cast it. Alright, so we'll just ping them down back to 20, unfortunately. Let's see. I guess let's pitch a Wonder, and we don't need like 27 Yavimaya Coast, so we're on just 6 lands and a Deep Analysis. And we've drawn a bunch of extra cards this game, so interesting. Okay, alright. Arrogant Worm is a thing. I just want to force myself to discard that. Is that better than... Nah. Still would like to get some more cards. Okay. Some spells, finally. Just jab him for another 1 damage. Down to 19. Maybe. Okay. Just fetching out a land. Perhaps I misspoke and they're not playing Slide. What else plays Renewed Faith, though? This must be Wake, probably one of the decks I'm least familiar with. Let's discard another land. Yeah, it's white-green. Assuming Wake. Nice. Renewed Faith. Yep, there it is. Alright, well, do your worst, I guess. And make a ton of angels on your turn. Well, Wild Mongrel is kind of what we're in the market for, so we'll cast that. The good news is, if he makes a bunch of angels, I do have Wonder in the yard, so all my dudes fly, which is good. And I guess we'll play a land, and we can hold up either Arrogant Worm or Circular Logic. Probably Logic, so we can counter their ability to make a ton of angels and wreck us. Yeah. And it's like, we have no action, all we have is Wild Mongrel, go ahead, do what you gotta do. So I have access to 12 mana, and their angels are going to be huge. They're going to do nothing. Cool. So end step, we're going to discard, and we're going to cast Arrogant Worm with Madness. So now we actually get to chip in for some real damage. We can come across for 2, 4, 5 at minimum, possibly a lot more. Alright. We want the ability to hold up Circular Logic, so we need to keep 1 mana up always, so let's do the math here. If I attack for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, pump the Rootwalla, that leaves us with 3 untapped. Yeah, oh, and we still have a land drop this turn, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, very good. Let's see what our opponent has in store. Okay, they're going to fog us. pretty good. I don't think it's worth spending a circular logic on. So they got me. Alright, don't have to cast anything there. And maybe we play around a Wrath with keeping Merfolk Looter in hand, but it will help us draw more action. Yeah, I think we just play around it. Alright, Compulsion, don't really have a problem with. You get to flashback the Moment's Peace and fog us again. Alright, yeah, swing for the fences. No sense pumping because they're just going to flashback Moment's Peace. Yep. Alright. Hopefully that is the only Moment's Peace they have. They're effectively delaying us 2 turns, time walking us, essentially. Which is fine. As long as they don't go off and we're just holding up the circular logic. Wrath of God. Let's see. The trouble with circular logic is they can make a metric ton of mana, huh? So they can make 2, 4, 6, 8. That means I need 9 cards in the graveyard. Yeah, I think it's still worth it, because we're going to lose a lot. Rule of thumb back in the day was always to make Wild Mongrel black because of spells like Terror. There's a lot of spells from back then that say that kill target non-black creature, stuff like that. So when you change the color, it's mostly irrelevant to change it to any other color. And then we will hopefully they don't have some other counter magic, which is likely. Alright, we'll just hard cast it. We don't need to put it down through the... It's going to be a blowout if we get countered because we discarded half our hand, but it was actual, literal no action, just lands. So, we will see. Actually, if their only counters are Circular Logic, we could pay for that. Yep, okay. Circular Logic resolves, and then another Wrath. Well, I mean, there's not much we can do there. Fortunately, we can kind of start to rebuild with Merfolk Looter, hopefully. They essentially spent 2 spells to Mind Twist us and Wrath us, and still haven't really pressed an advantage yet, but they're getting to a point where they're going to have card advantage over us and eventually get to their win condition. Unsummon would have been nice that turn. But I guess let's just go ahead and cast green, cast Deep Analysis. Land. Well, I didn't want to draw them later, so why not now, right? And then we'll play a Merfolk Looter. I could either protect it or with unsummon, or maybe unsummon an angel token or something. We'll see. The 2 fogs into Wrath of God was really a blowout. Still, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm getting kind of wrecked right now, but I am happy as can be to get to play this format again. Alright, what have you got? Is this it? Rari, okay. So, just start copying your spells, or as we like to call it back in the day, forking your spells, the sorcery fork. Letting you effectively copy your instants and sorceries. Pretty good. Okay, circular logic's not bad to have. I guess we keep the forest for discarding purposes. And I think we just pass and end step loot. And also hold up the circular logic for our loot in case they cast anything really game breaking. Alright, combat step. Main 2. Alright, so they're doing nothing, so we loot now. And we can pitch the old forest, because we absolutely don't need it. Wild Mongrel, here we go. Alright. Some sort of action, absolutely. Let's just get this into play as soon as humanly possible. And I guess we can go look at their deck list and see how many Wraths they do have in their deck, but my guess is a lot, if I had to. We're going to save Circular, or Careful Study rather, for now, just for the sake of not wanting to discard good cards right away. I'd rather draw a Madness piece and then be able to Madness in off of Circular Logic than just draw 2, you know, good cards and have to worry about it later. Should have looted there. Talking kind of made me misclick. Let's go ahead and punch through, right? And it's now that we have 2 Careful Studies, we're not going to win the game by holding spells, so let's go ahead and snap one off now. Alright, Wonder, Wild Mongrel. I guess we could pitch Wonder and the other Careful Study. And I'm going to hold Wild Mongrel. I know it'd be nice to have a bigger clock on them, but when they're wrathing and blowing us out in that manner, like, we don't want to overcommit. We have a draw engine and a beater, so that's fine for now. I would commit more. Like, I'd commit a Basking Rootwalla for sure. Decree of Justice. Cycle it. Let me pay X to Decree X soldiers. Well, that's pretty good. Let's see if they can make 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 mana. I could circular this, but We'll just allow it. And they might not make soldiers for whatever reason. Yeah, they're going to. They're going to make a ton of soldiers. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're at 11. That's pretty good. Oh, we can't counter, can't circular it. It's just an ability. So I guess we had no choice. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think we are dead. I'll let him wrap it up, maybe. Let's see. I do only have 13 minutes on clock, so... Alright. Yep, attack me for infinity. You got it. Alright, well, not so successful there. A little bit of misplays because I wasn't exactly sure what I was up against. I forgot Mirari's Wake was deck. So what do we want against them? No. Quiet Spec. 3 cards with flashback. Doesn't do me a ton. Target permanent on top of his own library. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ray of Revelation. We definitely want the enchantment. Destruction. And... I guess we pull out... Let's see, Aquamoeba is probably just a slow clock. And unsummon not super incredible, so we'll just do that. We'll be on the play. Alright. Yeah, this seems fine. And turn 1, a Rootwalla. Yeah, careful study into Rootwalla, discard Deep Analysis again. So another good start. Hopefully turn 2 we draw a Mongrel, or we just play an Aquamoeba. That's fine. Opponent keeps on 6. So, we'll add blue. Careful study. Alright. We'll discard these 2. And we'll Madness. In turn 2, we could go Merfolk Looter or Aquamoeba. I would say Looter, and let's try to get some more action. No reason to wait till main 2. Shit. I wonder if I can undo that. Okay. Not meaning to do that. We go Merfolk Looter. Just jab him for 1. Alright. Then next turn we get to either draw discard and play Arrogant Worm. Yeah, I guess we just gotta clock him. If the game goes long, they're gonna win. So let's put in the Centaur Garden. Drop Hitch. Now we have a decent clock already, so hopefully we could really effectively get enough damage in and hold some decent follow-up plays back. Let's see. I think we can attack and then flashback deep analysis. Seems good. Try to catch another land drop. And we could also hold up Circular Logic as well. In case they want to just turn 4 Wrath us, we guaranteed Circular them and they can't do it twice in the same turn. Also, another option is to cast either Mongrel or Rootwalla, but I don't think we want to go that route. So we could chip in for 5. Yeah. They didn't get a Planeswalker, which is interesting. I guess they needed the green and white. Okay. Force. Okay, it searches for force and a planes. Fair enough. So yeah, we are basically like almost 100% they're going to try to Wrath next turn. I think if I get... Actually, do I try to... Let's see. If I pump the Rootwalla, that's 7. I put them down to 11. If I counter the Wrath, same attack, that's 7. That puts them down to 4. And then just Area Worms lethal. Seems pretty good. And then if they Wrath after that, then we just rebuild with Mongrel and Rootwalla. Alright. Opponent eating a lot of time off the clock here. I can also... I don't have Threshold yet, huh? Alright. Come on, Dagoneth. There we go. Alright. Let's get in there with these guys. And I think we go ahead and pump the Rootwalla. Just try to get the damage in when it's good before Fogs and Wraths start flying. And then I think after we counter this inevitable Wrath of God, I think we're going to have a hard time losing this game, but I've been wrong before, so we'll see. Alright. Yeah, I think you just snap Wrath of God here. No problem, unless he's just stuck on Fogs. She could go that route too, which I don't know if I would counter, just because they flash back, and it seems like you want to counter Mirari's Wake or Wrath of God. Those are the two big targets for this matchup. Opponent in the tank a bit. Catching up to me on dwindling down in time. These gauntlets seem pretty interesting because a lot of people weren't playing Magic back then. So, I mean, it's learning these interactions and stuff, even as simple as some of them may seem, is a little difficult. I've played one other gauntlet when they had the Tempest era standard up. I ended up getting the burn deck. Did pretty well. Yeah, so we're going to loot and discard and always yield. And we're going to Circular Logic your Wrath of God for 3, 2. There. Cool. And we drew land, which actually wasn't bad. So we're a little light. And I think we just pass here, and we hold up the looter draw again. And then if they try to Wrath again, we could loot in response, and maybe get lucky and draw into another Circular Logic, which is entirely possible. Otherwise, we just loot and pitch Deep Analysis, and then the following turn we play. Okay, well, there we go. Opponent's seen enough, they concede, and we win. So game 3, I think we like this configuration enough. Unsummon still seems questionable, but I mean, it effectively can bounce one of our guys back to our hand in the event of a Wrath. But if we play around Wrath properly, it may not be needed. Yeah, okay. Talked myself into getting rid of it. And let's go Quiet Speculation. Because if we can drop a Roar of the Worm and then Ray of Revelation in the graveyard, we have a plan for Mirari's Wake. Opponent deciding whether to play or draw. We have 10 minutes on the clock, which is a little bit of a concern. I'm not the fastest Magic player on Moto because I just don't play often enough to really be used to all the controls and all of the things. I still like. I've lost I lose probably one game every like 5 matches or so just to misclicks, where I'll either pass through my turn and do nothing, or like want to respond to something but pass priority. So apologize ahead of time for the inevitable of when that happens. Alright, let's see, we have blue mana, we have green mana, we have Careful Study and Wild Mongrel. It's a totally keepable hand again. Which, though we've been pretty lucky with good opening hands, haven't had mulligan yet, we have flooded out once. So we're just going to lead off with Forest, and then we'll pass and go for the turn 2 Wild Mongrel. OG Flooded Shran, nice. Better than the Konstatar Cure one in my opinion. Alright, Compulsion doesn't do a ton right now, so that's fine. Alright, cool, we draw an island. So we'll just go Island, Wild Mongrel, and pass it back. Now we can, next turn we can attack in and Madness in an Arrogant Worm for an extra damage, or we could just end a turn the Arrogant Worm and like bluff Circular Logic or something to that effect. Either way, I think it's decent. We can also try to draw into more action with Careful Study, or play Quiet Speculation. So we have quite a few different routes to go. Let's see, we drew a Wild Mongrel. We don't have any other madness cards to drop with Careful Study, but we could toss a land, maybe. Or we could Quiet Spec. That's actually a better play, yeah. Yeah, we're going to Quiet Spec, and we're going to drop some Enchantment Hate into the graveyard. We'll go 2 Ray of Revelation and a Roar of the Worm. And now, not only do we build up our Threshold count and our Circular Logic count, we also have the ability to interact with enchantments, which we're going to need. Mirari's Wake is a giant pain in the ass. So, let's chip in for 2, hopefully. Although we did tap out of blue mana. Opponent knows that the shields are down. Alright, so X attacking creatures, huh? Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright. Alright, I think we're gonna Ray of Revelation this now. Before they can help themselves draw into a Mirari's Wake or another threat, and we don't have to worry about Mirari's Wake for another turn at least. So, and we can start again, Wild Mongrel, or just try to Careful Study into Arrogant Worm. It's also decent, or we could just play Flashback Roar of the Worm, which is probably a pretty good play too. See how our draw step goes. If we draw something like Circular Logic, we're just going to play Wild Mongrel and hold up 1 blue. But alright, opponent, you're going to burn your clock out if you don't keep, or if you don't make a play here. Which I would argue that he needs more clock than I do, being the aggressor in this matchup. Sure. Alright. There we go. Let's try to click through as fast as we can while we have no plays. It's Careful Study. Alright, nothing great. We could pitch this Island. Careful Study. Then play an Island, and we'll cast a Wild Mongrel. Straight into a Mana Leak. Yep. Seems good. That's okay. I mean, we still have a lot of, like, leftovers, right? We've got the Worm in our hand. The Worm in our hand sounds filthy. It's pretty good. The Aqua Amoeba, and then we have Roar of the Worm in the graveyard to flashback. And we can also handle their Mirari's Wake when they cast it with the Ray of Revelation we dumped in our graveyard. So we have stuff to do. Our opponent just drew all of the answers this game, none of their game plans, so. Alright. Let's do that. And let's make a Roar of the Worm, huh? I guess we'll hold up either. Renewed Faith in response. Alright. Well, the clock may become a problem more sooner than later. Another renewed faith. Okay, so we're resolving this thing. Yeah, but now our opponent's at 23. I mean, we have a 6-6 in play. So we're going to have to hopefully get in sooner than later. Only 7 minutes left on the clock. So our opponent should really try to click through the stuff as fast as possible. I don't think he is as aware of the clock. Or maybe he is and is just still tanking hard with hopes of playing properly, sure. Wrath of God. Alright. Win some, lose some. Alright, well. Let's do the damn thing again. Wild Mongrel, and then we can end step Arrogant Worm. And then next turn we could play a Deep Analysis. Another Wrath of God. This dude isn't playing, huh? Yeah? Okay. Well, he knows that we're off of Circular Logic at the moment. So, let's just hardcast Deep Analysis, draw some cards. Okay, there's a Circular Logic. A little late to the party, but alright, let's play another discard outlet. I think our opponent's just trying to keep all threats off the board. So they're probably light on actual action. Yep. Alright. I think we just attack. I don't want to play in the Mana Leak. Well, I guess I could. Yeah. Alright, now we get to swing in for at least 5. Hopefully they're not going to fog us. I think before we swing, just Deep Analysis, draw some cards. Alright, Wonder, okay. Alright, yeah, we gotta get with the getting, so. Yeah, we might actually just draw, exile 2 cards. Okay, we have to Circular Logic that. I think if we don't time out, we can win this fairly simply, but we just gotta play quick. We're gonna discard a land if he does nothing. Moment's Peace, of course. Yeah, okay, nothing we can do there. Okay, so we get fogged for 2 turns, which is really gonna screw our clock over. I don't think we'll bother discarding now because he's going to fog regardless. I do think we want a deep analysis. Alright. Oh, he takes it. That's fine. I mean, he's still on their 1-turn clock. Alright. Alright, cool. That's fine. We'll just pass. He has the Moment's Peace, but maybe we could draw. I want a deep analysis before combat next turn, and hopefully draw into a Circular Logic. End step, do nothing. Alright, cool. There's a Circular Logic. I think that means we win. Maybe I should have played another Circular Logic, or a Deep Analysis, to try to draw a second Circular Logic. But I think this is still fine. I mean, if he has it, he has it, right? I think I just... Let's hardcast Circular Logic, and hopefully we take this one. Get it! Alright. That was close. I was sure I was going to time out that game, but we were able to get there with Aquamoeba and Arrogant Worm, and it feels good, man. Just playing a deck that I used to play a lot and winning my first round of this awesome Gauntlet is pretty sweet. So I will see you guys back in the second round, and hopefully I get another sweet matchup. Talk to you in a minute.